Hi, I'm back. I'll be reading some more from the Bible, and I am and and I am using the reading plan from the Daily Audio Bible app, and I will be reading for February 13, 2021. And so I'll be reading Exodus chapter 35, verse 10 to Exodus chapter 36, verse 38. Verse 38. Exodus chapter 35. Recipe. Key tabernacle pieces. Name. Ark of the Covenant function and significance. A golden rectangular box that contained the Ten Commandments symbolized God's covenant with Israel's people. Atonement cover, located in the most holy place. The lid to the Ark of the Covenant symbolized the presence of God among His people. Curtain, the curtain that divided the two sacred rooms of the tabernacle, the holy place and the most holy place, symbolize how the people were separated from God because of sin. Table, a wooden table located in the holy place of the tabernacle. The bread of the presence and various utensils were kept on this table. Bread of the presence, 12 loaves of baked bread, one for each tribe of Israel, symbolize the spiritual nourishment God offers His people. Lampstands and lamps, a golden lampstand located in the holy place, which held 7 burning oil lamps. The lamp, the lampstand, the lampstand lit the holy place for the priest. Altar of incense, an altar in the holy place in front of the curtain, used for burning God's special incense and symbolic of the acceptable prayer. Anointing oil, a special oil used to anoint the priests and all the pieces in the tabernacle. A sign, a being set apart for God. Altar, a burnt offering, the bronze altar. Outside the tabernacle used for the sacrifices symbolize how sacrifice was stored. One's relationship with God. Basin, a large basin outside the tabernacle, used by the priests to cleanse themselves before performing their duties, symbolize the need for spiritual cleansing. Exodus chapter 35, verse 10. All who are skilled among you ought to come and make everything the Lord has commanded: the tabernacle with its tent and its covering, claps, frames, crossbars, posts, and bases, the ark with its poles, and the atonement cover, and the curtain that shields it, the table with its poles, and all its articles, and the bread of the presence, the lampstand, that is for light, with its accessories, lamps, and oil for the light, the altar of incense, with the poles, the anointing oil, and the fragrant incense, the curtain for the doorway at the entrance to the tabernacle, the altar of burnt offering with its bronze grating, its poles and all, its utensils, the bronze basin with its stand, the curtains of the courtyard with its posts and bases, and the curtain for the entrance to the courtyard, the 10 pegs for the tabernacle, and for the courtyard, and their ropes, the woven garments worn for ministering in the sanctuary, both the sacred garments for Aaron the priest, and the garments for his sons when they serve as priests. Then the whole Israelite community withdrew from Moses' presence, and everyone who was willing and whose heart moved them came and brought an offering to the Lord for the work on the tent of meeting, for all its service, and for the sacred garments. All who were willing, men and women alike, came and brought gold jewelry of all kinds, brooches, earrings, rings, and ornaments. They all presented their gold as a wave offering to the Lord. Everyone who had blue, purple, scarlet yarn, or fine linen, or gold hair, ram skins, dyed red, or the other durable leather, brought them. Those presenting an offering of silver or bronze brought it as an offering to the Lord. And everyone who had ACACIA wood for any part of the work brought it. Every skilled woman spun with the hands and brought what she has spun blue, purple, scarlet yarn, or fine linen. And all the women who were willing and had the scales spun the goat hair. The leaders brought onyx stones and other gems to be mounted on the ephod and breastpiece. They also brought spices and olive oil for the light, and for the anointing oil, and for the fragrant incense. All the Israelite men and women who were willing brought to the Lord freewill offerings for all the work the Lord through Moses had commanded them to do. Bezalel and Oholiab. Then Moses said to the Israelites, See the Lord has chosen Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Hur of the tribe of Judah, and he has filled him with the Spirit of God, with wisdom, with understanding, with knowledge, and with all kinds of skills, to make artistic designs for work in gold, silver, and bronze, to cut and set stones, to work in wood, and to engage in all kinds of artistic craft. And he has given both him and Oholiab, son of Ahisamach of the tribe of Dan, the ability to teach others. He has filled them with skill to do all kinds of work as engravers, designers, embroiderers in blue, purple, and scarlet and scarlet yarn and fine linen, and weavers, all of them skilled workers and designers. Exodus chapter 36. Exodus chapter 36. So, Bezalel, Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord has given skill and ability to know how to carry out all the work of constructing the sanctuary, or to do the work just as the Lord has commanded. Then Moses summoned Bezalel and Oholiab, and every skilled person to whom the Lord had given ability, and who was willing to come and do the work. They received from Moses all the offerings the Israelites had brought to carry out the work of constructing the sanctuary, and the people continued to bring freewill offerings morning after morning. So all the skilled workers who were doing all the work on the sanctuary left what they were doing and said to Moses, "The people are bringing more than enough for doing the work the Lord commanded to be done." To be done. Then Moses gave an order, and they sent this word throughout the camp: "No man or woman is to make anything else as an offering for the sanctuary." And so the people were restrained from bringing more, because what they already had was more than enough to do all the work. The tabernacle. All those who were skilled among the workers made the tabernacle with 10 curtains of finely twisted linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with cherubim woven into them by expert hands. All the curtains were the same size, 28 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains together and did the same with the other 5. Then they made loops of blue material along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and the same was done with the end curtain in the other set. They also made 50 loops on one curtain, and 50 loops on the end curtain of the other set, with the loops opposite each other. Then they made 50 gold clasps and used them to fasten the 2 sets of curtains together, so that the tabernacle was a unit. They made curtains of goat hair for the tent over the tabernacle. 11 altogether. All 11 curtains were the same size, 30 cubits long and 4 cubits wide. They joined 5 of the curtains into one set, and the other 6 into another set. Then they made 50 loops along the edge of the end curtain in one set, and also along the edge of the end curtain in the other set. They made 50 bronze clasps to fasten the tent together as a unit. Then they made for the tent a covering of ram skins dyed red, and over that a covering of the other durable leather. They made upright frames of acacia wood for the tabernacle. Each frame was 10 cubits long and a cubit and a half wide, with two projections that parallel to each other. They made all the frames of the tabernacle in this way. They made 20 frames for the south side of the tabernacle. I made 40 40 silver bases to go under them, 2 bases for each frame, one under each projection. For the other side, the north side of the other tabernacle, they made 20 frames and 40 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They made 6 frames for the far end, that is the west end of the tabernacle, and 2 frames were made for the corners of the tabernacle at the far end. At these 2 corners, the frames were double from the bottom all the way to the top and fitted into a single wing. Both were made alike. Both were made alike. So there were 8 frames and 16 silver bases, 2 under each frame. They also made crossbars of acacia wood, 5 for the frames on one side of the tabernacle, 5 for those on the other side, and 5 for the frames on the west at the far end of the tabernacle. They made the center crossbar so that it extended from end to end at the middle of the frames. They overlaid the frames with gold and made gold wings to hold the crossbars. They also overlaid the crossbars with gold. They made the curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finally twisted linen, which had been woven into it by a skilled worker. They made 4 posts of acacia wood for it and overlaid them with gold. They made gold hooks for them and cast. There the 4 silver bases for the entrance to the tent. They made a curtain of blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, and finally twisted linen, the work of an embroiderer. And they made 5 posts with hooks for them. They overlaid the tops of the posts and their bands with gold, and made there the 5 bases of bronze. Matthew chapter 27, verses 32 to 66. Matthew chapter 27. Chapter 27, verse 32. How Jesus' trial was illegal. Even before the trial began, it had been determined that Jesus must die. Mark chapter 14, verse 1. John chapter 11, verse 50. There was no innocent until proven guilty approach. 2. False witnesses were sought to testify against Moses. Matthew chapter 26, verse 59. Usually, the religious leaders went through an elaborate system of screening witnesses to ensure justice. 3. No defense for Jesus was sought or allowed. Luke chapter 22, verses 67 to 71. 4. The trial was conducted at night. Mark chapter 14, verses 53 to 65. Chapter 15, verse 1, which was illegal according to the religious leaders' own laws. 5. The high priest put Jesus under oath, but then incriminated him. For what? he said, Matthew chapter 26, verses 63 to 66. 6. Cases involving such serious charges were to be tried only in the Sanhedrin regular meeting place, not in the high priest's palace. Mark chapter 14, verses 53 to 65. The religious leaders were not interested in giving Jesus a fair trial. In their minds, Jesus had to die. This blind assumption led them to pervert the justice they were appointed to protect. Above are many examples of the actions taken by the religious leaders that were illegal according to their own laws. Matthew chapter 27, verses 32 to 66. 32. Jesus is led away to be crucified. Mark chapter 15, verses 21 to 24. Luke chapter 23, verses 26 to 31. John chapter 19, verse 17. Jesus is placed on the cross. Mark chapter 15, verses 25 to 32. Luke chapter 23, verses 32 to 43. John chapter 19, verses 18 to 27. As they were going out, they met a man from Cyrene named Simon, and they forced him to carry the cross. They came to a place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. There they offered Jesus wine to drink mixed with gall. But after tasting it, he refused to drink it. When they had crucified him, they divided up his clothes by casting lots. And sitting down, they kept watch over him there. Above his head, they placed a written charge against him. This is Jesus, the King of the Jews. 2 lepers were crucified with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, save yourself. Come down from the cross. If you are the Son of God." In the same way, the chief priests, the teachers of the law, and the elders mocked him. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. He's the King of Israel. Let him come down now from the cross, and we will believe in him. He trusts in God. Let God rescue him now, if he wants him. For he said, I am the Son of God. I am the Son of God." In the same way, the rebels who were crucified with him also heaped insults on him. Jesus dies on the cross. Mark chapter 15, verse 33 to 41. Luke chapter 23, verses 44 to 49. John chapter 19, verses 28 to 37. From noon until 3 in the afternoon, darkness came over all the land. About 3 in the afternoon, Jesus cried out in a loud voice, Eli, Eli, Lema Sabachthani, which means, my God, why have you forsaken me? When some of those standing there heard this, they said, "He's calling Elijah." Immediately, One of them went and got a sponge. He filled it with wine vinegar, put it on a staff, and offered it to Jesus to drink. The rest said, Now leave him alone. Let's see if Elijah comes to save him. And when Jesus had cried out again in a loud voice, he gave up his spirit. At that moment, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom. The earth shook, the rocks split, and the tombs broke open. The bodies of many holy people who had died were raised to life. They came out of the tombs after Jesus' resurrection and went into the holy city and appeared to many people. When the centurion and those with him who were guarding Jesus saw the earthquake and all that had happened, they were terrified and exclaimed, Surely he was the Son of God. Many women were there watching from a distance. They had followed Jesus from Galilee to care for his needs. Among them were Mary Magdalene, Mary, the mother of James and Joseph, and the mother of Zebedee's sons. Jesus is laid in the tomb, Mark chapter 15, verses 42 to 47, Luke chapter 23, verses 50 to 56, John chapter 19, verses 38 to 42. As evening approached, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who had himself become a disciple of Jesus. Going to Pilate, he asked for Jesus' body, and Pilate ordered that it be given to him. Joseph took the body, wrapped it in a clean linen cloth, and placed it in his own new tomb that he had cut out of the rock. He rolled a big stone in front of the entrance to the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were sitting there opposite the tomb. Guards are posted at the tomb. The next day, the one after preparation day, the chief priests and the Pharisees went to Pilate. So they said, We remember that while he was still alive, that deceiver said, After 3 days I will rise again. So give the order for the tomb to be made secure until the third day. Otherwise his disciples may come and steal the body and tell the people that he has been raised from the dead. This last deception will be worse than the first. Take a guard, Pilate answered. Go make the tomb as secure as you know how. So they went and made the tomb secure by putting a seal on the stone and posting the guard. Psalm chapter 34, verses 1 to 10. Psalm chapter 34. Theme: God pays attention to those who call on him. Whether God offers escape from trouble or help in times of trouble, we can be certain that he always hears and acts on behalf of those who love him. Author David, after pretending to be insane in order to escape from King Achish, 1 Samuel chapter 21, verses 10 to 15. David, when he pretended to be insane before Abimelech, who drove him away, and he left. And he left. I will extol the Lord at all times. His praise will always be on my lips. I will glory in the Lord. Let the afflicted hear and rejoice. Glorify the Lord with me. Let us exalt his name together. I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. Those who look to him are radiant. Their faces are never covered with shame. This poor man called, and the Lord heard him. He saved him out of all his troubles. The angel of the Lord encamps around those who fear him, and he delivers them. Taste and see that the Lord is good. Blessed is the one who takes refuge in him. Fear the Lord, you, his holy people, for those who fear him lack nothing. The lions make weak and hungry, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Proverbs chapter 9, verses 7 to 8. Proverbs chapter 9, verses 7 and 8. 7 and 8. Whoever corrects a mocker invites insult. Whoever rebukes the wicked incurs abuse. Do not rebuke mockers, or they will hate you. Rebuke the wise, and they will love you. Okay, that's all. Bye.